Buddy, it's Steve Olson with WSO. It is April 29th, one more day on the WSO Live discounted rate. Don't forget to go check that out before that sale ends. Today, though, this is a picture from this morning, and the big red halo is just a very, common feature of our sky now. People don't even question it anymore. We're going to talk about that a little bit later this morning after I show you a few good pictures. What we're going to talk about is how they manipulate cognitive dissonance, and I'm going to use the Navy maps to show it. Okay, but anyway, this is a picture. Just to move on with a couple of the pictures I thought was interesting. This is a rare picture showing a shadow on the surface of Saturn. Isn't that interesting? It's a donut-shaped shadow. It's very unclear. It's very hard to see. But that is but in terms of the size of the planet and the size of the shadow, this would be like the size of the Earth. You know what I mean? So it's huge. We don't know what's causing the shadow, but isn't it interesting that it looks very similar to the donut hole that we see all over the place? Now check this picture out. Not the yellow jacket part, but this part. So this is from Carolina, and look at this. Again, we're getting these. This is not a lens flare. But the problem with this sitting so low on the horizon is I'm not seeing a shadow from it. So it could be a lens flare. It's hard to tell when it's a still shot. But great shot, and thanks for sharing it with us. That could definitely be an object. And then I'm going to show you this last one by just playing it. And this is from Yellow Jacket down in Louisiana. Look at first of all, we get this really bright dot. And I just want to show you as this large orb starts to go over, you can actually compare it. And let's stretch it out a little bit so we can play with it. You can actually see right here. See this orb rotating? And then you really see it as it goes by like this. You can see this orb rotating underneath. And the way that it flows with the sun is not a lens flare, right? So it's just the Earth rotating and us seeing what's behind it. And there's that donut hole again, right? Wow, right? So backing it back up again, you can see that this orb that we're seeing is very, very similar to the one that we're seeing in Alaska, guys. And just wanted to point that out. All right, so now let's talk about the main theme of our video for today. Now, if you've been with this community for any period of time, one of the things that they talk about as a result of the dragon and its 7 planets and 10 moons per Revelation chapter 12, when these things come in, they are going to be very disruptive to our planetary alignment. It's going to be maybe pull the Earth out of its orbit a little bit, maybe change the number of days in a year. And a lot of people have theorized, including John Moore, that there would be massive flooding on the United States. And this map in its various forms have been out in different ways. Now, this Mick West is a debunker, okay? And what Mick in this 2014 article he's debunked this because he has shown several different maps and several different times where people said that this is going to happen. Here's one where a guy named Scallion said that this example, the prediction of the United States finding itself in this kind of a configuration in 1993. We see it in 1994, 95, 96. We see it in 2000. We see, these different maps. In fact, if you go to the internet and pull it up, you're going to find more than enough information on what the United States will look like after this event is over with, after the sea levels rise and after the, polar ice caps melt and all that kind of stuff. Now, here's the thing. He's saying he's debunking it because he can point to several people that said it was going to happen and it didn't happen. That sounds like Noah to me. And let me tell you what I mean by that. Just because people are getting this is why I hate dates so much. This is why I hate people trying to predict a date. If this does happen, this Navy map happens, which I believe it's going to happen, because it's inevitable. The ice caps are melting. We are going to have more water in the ocean. It's just a simple math thing. It doesn't have anything to do with anything other than the sea levels are going to rise. It's just as simple as that. When is this going to happen? I don't know. Is it already starting to happen? Yes, it is already starting to happen. We're already seeing low-lying areas flooding. But here's my point. My point is he didn't debunk anything. What he did was he took something that people were studying and then said because it didn't come true, it's debunked. And that's why dates suck, okay? Let me give you an example. Here's a article in the Star, Rare Cosmic Alliance heralds 3 days of darkness. And by the way, I haven't seen the date on it yet. But let's see, when is it going to say? Usually it's September 23rd is when they say this is going to happen. And then they'll usually throw in some prophetess or something like that to add credibility to it, okay? They have been predicting 3 days of darkness for every September 23rd since I've been in this community, okay? It's bullshit, okay? They don't know. And there's a lot of offsetting technologies right now that we've deployed to try to minimize the effects of any of this stuff when it does happen. So what are they doing when they keep pounding this 3 days of darkness and end of days and everything? What they're doing is they're trying to desensitize you by having a date come and go over and over and over again. What happens is people to lose interest and move away. So if you were in the last 2016, September 23rd, 2016 deal, you would have believed that we were going to get hit by an asteroid on September 23rd every year since like 1960. But anyway, the point being is these events, cosmic alignments, asteroids, let's go to the near Earth approach, right? We've been noticing that we're in an asteroid field. Has the Earth been hit yet? No. There are huge distances involved in space. Yes, we're in a little pinball game right now. Yes, there's a lot of asteroids coming close to the Earth. But when was the last time an asteroid plowed into the Earth? Not in my lifetime. Not in your lifetime. Yeah, we had the events in Russia, near misses, things like that, where we saw the power of an asteroid. But think about it, guys. If you're going to predict that an asteroid's going to hit, that means that you will have to predict an event that hasn't happened in several, if not, centuries, okay? Where an asteroid has actually made a penetrating hit on the Earth that, just blew up, right? Hasn't happened in a long time. So are we in a place where it's more likely that it's going to happen? Yes, and that's what we've been trying to talk about on this channel. And these are slow progressions of things that happen in huge space. It's not something you can just, just because I noticed that an asteroid's coming close to the Earth doesn't mean like tomorrow's one's going to hit. It just means you keep an eye on it. And here's the attitude you've got to have towards all of this, in my opinion, is take it all with a grain of salt. Live your life the best you can, but be prepared and don't be stupid. Be understanding that we are in a dangerous time cosmically. We're in a dangerous time as a world. We're in a dangerous time all the way around. But when hasn't it been that way? In 1900, you could walk out your door and have tuberculosis that day and never be the same again. So all I'm telling you guys is things like this, like asteroid hits, planetary, magnetic, all that stuff that we talk about, yes, it's intense, it's changing, it's causing us to think there's something coming close to the Earth. We all believe that there's at least I do. I believe that there is a solar system or solar systems that we are sisters with, and we have to run into them every so often, and we're coming into one of those times. So could we potentially see a bombardment? Yeah, but think about asteroid bombardments, okay? Look at the distances that these things are traveling just apart from each other, right? So if you look, for example, at just this list, our LDs are all over the place. They're not necessarily traveling together as a group, and there's huge distances between them too. So yes, there is a good chance we're going to get hit with a kill shot. There is a good chance that we're going to get hit with this asteroid. But it's no different chance than it's ever been, really, if you think about it. Just because we have more volume doesn't mean it's going to happen anytime. Do I believe it's going to happen eventually? It's just math, man. It's got to happen eventually. So anyway, I went on and on and on and on, and I just wanted to bring it back to this again, and that is, just because it didn't happen doesn't mean it's going to happen. And this reminds me of the Bible where it says the last days will be like the days of Noah. I'm sure Noah had a few believers that came out there and said, it's coming next Tuesday, the flood's coming next Tuesday. They gathered around, built fires. Noah's like shaking his head. The event comes and goes, and they say, see, it's not true. How many times do you think they did that to Noah? You know what I mean? Hundreds, if not thousands of times, okay? But one day, the event did happen. And that day, the door closed. So don't let the door close, and don't be a fool. Don't be a fool by believing everything you hear and hitting the bunker just because somebody says an asteroid's coming close. But on the other hand, don't be a fool and not know that this stuff is going on, because I do believe this is a generation that's going to have to live through a lot of crap. And with that said, I hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday with lots of great content. WSO Live is pumping it up. WSO will be out there cranking out the videos. And by the way, for those of you who are interested in GNN, our news network, we're on a little break right now. We're going to be coming back again. Wayne's taking a break, and we're trying to build up WSO stuff right now. And Wayne's done a couple of really good videos, guys. You got to go check them out. It has to do with the Bloodline Invader series. And just go look at our Wayne Steiger's last 2 videos, guys. They are freaking awesome. You got to check them out. Anyway, with all that said, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. God bless you. And here's the spiritual thought that I need you to think about, okay? Rest. What does that mean to be at rest? Have you ever been at rest? Can you put yourself at rest? Think about it.